There's a moment that happens sometimes, and it's usually around 3 a.m. in the morning. You wake up and you're half asleep. You don't recognize your own house. The hallways feel longer. The air sounds louder. The fridge hums like it's the only machine left alive in the world. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's changed. But your brain quietly whispers, this isn't real right now. Not fear, not comfort, just distance. Like standing outside your own life. And I'll pin the full book list in the comments so you don't have to scribble anything down. We throw this term around a lot now. Lineal space. It's become an aesthetic. Back rooms, empty malls, fluorescent hallways, old carpets, weird JPEGs from 2005 that look like memories you never had. But the word didn't start there. It comes from a Latin word. It means threshold, a doorway, the space between rooms, not inside, not outside, just in between. And it's also been used to describe transitions in life. The moment after something ends, but before the next thing begins. Graduation day, the week after moving house, the night before a big decision. That strange pause where you feel like the old version, you don't feel like the old version of yourself anymore. But the new version hasn't loaded yet. So you feel untethered. Like reality hasn't fully rendered. And here's the thing I don't think we talk about enough. Books are incredibly good at recreating this feeling. Better than films in many cases, better than games. Because books don't just show you the space, they trap you inside your consciousness, if that makes sense. And consciousness is already lineal. Long before lineal space became an internet term, writers were already obsessed with it. Stories about how stories about houses that were bigger on the inside than the outside. Corridors that shouldn't exist, landscapes that feel abandoned by humanity, empty rooms filled with statues, dust, and quiet. Places that aren't threatening but feel wrong in a way you can't explain. And that's why it fascinates me. These stories almost never rely on monsters, because the monsters are easy. Monsters give you something to point at and go, oh, that's a threat. But lineal stories, they remove the threat, and somehow that's worse, because you're left alone with a question. Why does this feel off? And your brain hates not having an answer. There's a certain type of novel I love, where the setting isn't just a place, it's the main character, where someone wanders for endless hours, for years. I mean, cataloguing rooms, talking to statues, watching tides roll through marble hallways like the ocean forgot where it belongs. Not villains, no big plot twists, just vastness, silence, footsteps echoing forever, and reading it feels weirdly peaceful, like being the last person alive in a museum, not scared, just small. And I think that hits something deeper in us because modern life never lets us feel small anymore. We're constantly notified, constantly pinged, observed. But these spaces, they don't care about you. They existed before you and exist after you. There's something almost spiritual about that, like the universe gently reminding you you've just passed through, which, if we're honest, is what lineal actually is. There is also this other kind of lineal story, the mean ones. Ones where the house isn't peaceful, it's wrong, the doors appear where they shouldn't, always stretched too long, inside mausoleums that don't match the outside, stairs that go down forever, pitch black, no button. And suddenly, the one place that's supposed to protect you, home, becomes unstable, and the trap isn't something ancient because shelter is primal. Cave, fire, walls, safe. So when a story says, what if your shelter can't be trusted, your brain short circuits. You don't fear the monsters might attack me. You feel something disorienting, more subtle. And disorientation is pure liminal energy. If the emotional equivalent of missing a step on the stairs in the dark, that stomach drop, that microsecond where gravity feels optional, some books don't scare you, they unmoor you. and somehow that sticks with you much longer. And then there are stories that take it outside into forests, coastlines, abandoned zones, abandoned cities, places where maps stop making sense, where biology feels slightly rewritten, and animals that don't act right, where language starts to feel fragile. No ghosts, no villains, just this quiet suggestion that humanity isn't required anymore, and the Earth would continue perfectly fine without us. Which might be the most existential linear space of all, because now it's not just I don't belong in this house, it's maybe we never belonged here at all. And the idea lingers. It's not a loud idea, but background radiation. You forget the book and everything looks normal. Trees, roads, sky, but something can feel slightly unfamiliar, like the world shifted 1 degree to the left where you weren't looking. And then there's this one we avoid completely. This one is not architectural at all. No endless hallways, no strange rooms, no abandoned cities, just stillness, reflection, being alone in your own life. Some of the most powerful books ever written aren't about weird spaces, it's about the pause, about stopping, about sitting in that uncomfortable middle between where you were last year and who you are trying to become, which might be the hardest threshold to cross because you can't blame the environment anymore. You can't blame a house, you can't blame a forest. It's you accounting for yourself. And honestly, I think that might be the scariest liminal space there is. I don't think we love liminal space fiction because it's creepy. I think we love it because it's honest. Because adulthood is basically one long hallway. You never arrive. You're always between jobs, between relationships, between versions of yourself, between dreams. No one tells you that growing up mostly feels like waiting rooms, and these books say, yeah, that's normal. They take this weird, lonely, transitional feeling and turn it into art. Then that says this hallway matters too, not just the destination. So maybe that 3 a.m. moment isn't something to fear. Maybe it's just because your brain noticed the threshold, the space between chapters, between who you are, who you were, where you're going, and whatever you're about to become next. Maybe that's why these stories stay with us. Because they don't give us answers, they don't hand us a flashlight. They just let you walk in the corridor a little longer, and somehow that can be more than enough. If you enjoy these kind of weird videos that I make, feel free to like and subscribe and tell me what you think in the comments below. What's your favourite lineal space novel? What gives you that unsettling feeling? And if you want to support this channel, you're welcome to join my Patreon, become a channel member, check out my Substack, or buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. Maybe we can sit in that abandoned cafe together at 3 o'clock in the morning.